Hi, and welcome to Dead Pine Archives. This is our second episode. Very excited to get into it. My name is Dan, and I have my co-hosts Kelly and Neil.
Hello.
Hey.
And today we are going over the story of Minnie Quay. Have either of you guys ever heard of Minnie Quay before?
I have not.
Me neither.
All right, well.
What kind of cryptid is it?
It's a ghost story, actually.
Oh, well, okay.
I will say Minnie Quay.
Quay.
God dang it.
And it begins.
Her name is Minnie, and then her last name is Quay, but to say it, it's a really fun thing to say. Like, I have been enjoying saying Minnie Quay way too much lately while looking it up. Right?
Minnie Quay.
Okay.
I'm crazy for Minnie.
So it was nice talking to everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us for podcast episode number 2. This will be the final episode. And thanks for tuning in.
We're canceling ourselves right now. But no, so Minnie Quay is a ghost story. I actually did hear about it when I was younger. There was, when I was in high school, my sister, who both my co-workers, my co-hosts know, Neil's married to her. In high school, her and her friends had gone camping in Forester, Michigan, which is where Minnie Quay takes place, to try and see if they could actually see her ghost, because you're supposed to do certain stuff that I'll go over later. She never saw any proof herself, but, I've known the tale since then.
I don't know where Forester is.
It is between Port Huron and the tip of the thumb.
Oh,
it's midway between those points.
Okay.
So so it's a little ghost story. So I'm gonna go over all the information that I found on it.
All right.
Before getting really into it, I did notice that looking up stuff for this, there's a lot of
contradictory
things, and it gets it's interesting because there is a newspaper from the time that she died, and the people still have other things written down. I don't know. It's weird. They have her aged between 14 and 16, and it's weird because I did find her grave headstone, and it says that she was born in 1860. 1860. So I don't know why they thought that. They also, in everything I found, she was born in May and she died in April of 1876. So she was 1 month away from being 16. So I can kind of get the 15, 16. But, there's a few that were oh, she was just freshly 15. I'm like, no, she wasn't.
Months in.
Yeah, this wasn't the 1300s. We have records.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it. They also can't decide on what her dad did for a job. One said a mechanic, the other one said he was a tavern owner. Another was he can't own a tavern because they were Christian and this was the 1800s and they wouldn't have done that. One says a carpenter.
Was he a strawberry picker?
No, that was the last story.
No, because then they wouldn't say anything because they wouldn't respect him.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a few things like that there wasn't really 100% consensus on it. But I mostly took the core of what I'm saying in my story that happened from the newspaper that came out after she died. The closest time-wise to when she actually died. Because even the way she died, there's been one or two other stories that are oh, no, that actually didn't happen. This happened. And I'm that's not what the paper said.
Classic. Listen, the archives are tricky. I get it. Again, this wasn't the 1300s. There were records. I don't know why everybody's been I actually have the real story here. He actually wrestled horses. I don't know. Well,
you know what?
Yes, my father made his millions wrestling horses. I understand. No, and I get that. I get, the oral tradition of storytelling, right? Things are going to change versus who you hear it from. But unless it's adding anything to the story and the facts are easily accessible, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if her father wrestled horses or, was a carpenter.
Well, yeah.
One's a little more interesting, but...
Well, it just was interesting because there were several, instances, her age and even the year she was born, they put in the wrong date, and then his occupation, and then her brother is mentioned in it, and they can't figure out where his location is, and they keep moving him about. But, yeah, I'll go over that anyways when we get into the story. But, yeah, so... I'm going to start with the legend of Minnie Quay, starting with the history of it, which that was a weird way to say it, but I'm keeping it. Born in 1860, Mary Jane Quay, better known as Minnie Quay, was the firstborn daughter of James and Mary Ann Quay. She grew up in Forester, Michigan, a small East Coast city off of Lake Huron. It's about halfway between Port Huron and the tip of the Michigan thumb. Minnie was one out of 7 children, 3 boys, 4 girls.
Wait, so she was one of 3 boys and 4 girls?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she just had one brother.
No. She had a lot of siblings. I don't remember exactly. I think one of them may have died early, like young-ish.
Okay.
I know that their headstone that they have in the cemetery is her mom and dad, and then one of her brothers. But I know they kind of like moved out from that area when they grew up.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't look too much into the siblings, but yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Forster is a very small town in Michigan, and in the 1800s, it was extremely small. The small town had one thing to spark up day-to-day life, and that was the pier. Boats came every day to collect the lumber and give the town its daily dose of gossip. Though many people enjoyed hearing about the outside world, most did not like the sailors that came with it. In the 1800s, sailors were viewed more as low moral standing people and a little deprived, you know. They didn't stick to one place. Everyone assumed they had a girl at every pier.
Boys.
Yeah, the baddest of boys, getting lumber and working hard constantly. Blah. That's how they all were kind of viewed. So when these young girls would get little crushes on them as they come and go, people would be very upset.
No, that makes sense. I mean, what's a good, like, what can we equate that to today, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm thinking of just like, you know, the dirty, sleazy young guys in bands who like go on a tri-state tour in their mom's van. But, you know, all the kids come to the shows are like, oh my God, they're so cute.
Classic Sailor Thomas and the Scurvy Boys.
Can I get a shirt with that?
Honestly, you know,
Write that down.
depends on if they were a one-hit wonder or not.
It's a wave of entertainment. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of the adults didn't really respect or like the sailors very much. So it's no surprise that when Minnie, like all the young girls in town, fell in love with a sailor, she was only met with disapproval from the people in town and that of her parents. It's said that when her parents heard of the news, they took Minnie and locked her in her room and like until his ship took off. So she didn't even get to like see him and say goodbye or whatever. Mary Ann and James Quay forbid her from seeing him. Like it was like a whole thing.
Did Minnie ask pork Quay?
I don't know what that means. So it just sounds like you're saying pork.
Pork Quay. Pork Quay means but why?
Oh, well.
I'm
And
gonna.
thank you for tuning in today for Neil's daily Spanish lesson. Next week we will be covering.
I thought you were trying to say parkour for some reason, and I was like,
Did Minnie ever perchance say parkour?
oh my God. That was beautiful.
Ow.
No one will ever believe that you did 3 somersaults.
I was going to say
Splits.
Y'all at home won't believe what I just did. I totally did 3 front flips and didn't even bust my ass.
You know
It's
what?
true.
If Minnie Quay knew parkour, she would have made it on that ship.
Oh my God. Anyway, so
And that's a lesson for all the young girls out there.
learn parkour? No, don't do that. The question on from that then is, you know, who is this guy she found love with? You know, was he suave? Was he a weirdo, a creep? You know, he was a working man, which I mean, 1800s, he could have also been, you know, 14, 15 and working, but she was, you know, a 15-year-old girl. But there's literally no information about him.
Oh,
Yeah.
like no name? Or
There's no name. One article mentioned that he was a young man, but I don't know where they got that information.
Not to malign the spirit of Minnie Quay, but did you Did she literally just do one of those things? She's like, yeah, my boyfriend's a sailor. He's from Canada. You don't know him. He's because no one knows his name. No one knows what he looks like. Her parents were like, we don't trust this boy. We want to meet him right now. Oh, you can't. His family is from Montreal.
He goes to another school. I mean, Schiff. I mean,
he was gonna come to the Sadie Hawkins dance.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't say how long the relationship was for, so she could have met him once and not known his name. Like, I don't even know.
Again,
the name's Ralph. I'm 45 years young.
Don't mind the hook hand. I'm slightly annoyed at the lack of record keeping, like the inconsistencies and the just like, yeah, there was a dude. We don't know his name. Also, we have the date of birth and the date of death of this girl, but like, I mean, what was she, 12? Like, I don't know. Can somebody write something down?
Yeah. It doesn't say. I couldn't find it. But she was very much in love with him. And she would go around town telling people like, I love him. The next time his ship's in town, I'm gonna sneak and meet him. And so the whole town kind of like knew like Minnie was a little bit, I'm gonna say in love, but obsessed is also.
Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Yeah. So, so she was like, I'm gonna see him the next time that ship's in port. I'm gone. I'm with him. He's my man. And then as these stories go, bad news came. In the spring of 1876, his ship went down while working in the lakes in a storm. In the storm in the lakes, And he was pronounced, well, like lost at sea, but like not in the sea because we're not in the sea.
Was he? Because he seems like he was lost in the records office.
Yeah.
How did they even know he was lost? Nobody knew who this man was.
There were boys on the boat. Now there's no more boats.
Ralph. I'm not lost at sea.
Quit telling everyone I'm dead.
Well, I mean, honestly,
listen, there were boys on the boat. Boat went down. Now there's no boys.
Now there's no boys. Yeah, I mean, that could have happened. Honestly, it doesn't say, but the ship went down. News slowly made its way to Forrester, and then Minnie heard the news of it. Side note, Michigan storms on the water, they're pretty bad. They're bad. Like, you don't want to, it's open water. I'm not saying it's, an ocean worth of storm, because that's absolutely terrifying. But a lot of people do die in the storms on the lakes. Like, it's a rough time.
Yeah, let's cool it on the storm talk. We don't want to ruin the next episode.
I think it's time for me to give a lot of facts about boats and this the Great Lakes.
Specifically Lake Superior.
Let me tell you something about the lakes.
I'm going to talk about Lake Superior right now. No.
Has anybody out there ever noticed that the anagram of Lake Superior is I kill guys?
Anyways, the Great Lakes have had many of storms and many of bad times. And I'll let Neil elaborate on that next or whenever his story is. So the ship went down and the news did slowly make its way to the Quay family. Obviously, this was crushing to Minnie. She was absolutely heartbroken, even more so because she didn't even get to tell him goodbye the last time he was in port. And unfortunately, the timing was pretty bad because apparently her parents were also out of town that week. So Minnie was in charge of watching her younger brother and decided that, when she heard the news, it was just time to take a walk in a white dress down to the pier, waved to a few townsfolk before she just went and plunged off the north side of the town pier into the waters of Lake Huron.
She yelled a cannonball, or
yeah, that's a very dramatic choice to make.
Yeah, some
emo kids never change.
Oh my god!
Like, this is 1860s emo kid.
Let me wear
my white dress.
Since time immemorial, there's always been teenagers that have been like, "What can I do to pull focus?"
I mean, I feel like this is a little bit, more than just pulling focus, but yeah. There are some records that say that she went through the whole town waving at people instead of just going to the pier and waving to the few people that were like, they were fishing or something. And then she jumps in. There's one record that says that her brother that she was watching, so this is, a very young kid because he has to be under, 15.
Right.
He sees her jump in, and either sees her jumps in from their house, which I'm sure is close to the water, or he's on the beach in some of the stories. But he goes and he alerts like more of the townspeople. I don't know why those people she waved to wouldn't do something, but I don't know. So he goes and does that, and it takes them about an hour to grapple her body out of the lake. She did die from drowning.
How a bummer.
Oh my God.
A girl that's dead, Neil.
Yeah,
That's why I said cow a bummer.
It was an appropriate response.
Yeah. That's funeral talk.
And at the time of her death, the temperature in the lake would have probably been around 34 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit because she did jump in April.
Chilly.
And it is pretty cold in Michigan in April. It's cold. And the water, very cold. Not a fun time. Well, no, none of this is a fun time. So I'm just going to stop that thought right there. But it's not a good time. Minnie Quay was buried in Forster Cemetery on the north end of town, with this appearing in a local newspaper. A young girl named Minnie Quay, about 15 years of age, committed suicide by throwing herself into the lake from Smith's Docks at Forster one afternoon last week. She was seen in the act jumping by her little brother, who was on shore. A quick alarm was given, and men commenced at once to grapple for the body, but it took an hour before it was discovered. Her father is a mechanic in Smith's Mill and is highly respected. No cause is assigned for this rash act. And I'm like, well, yeah, but we do know.
We know the cause, yeah. I think, okay, so definitely a tragic thing. Very, very sad for Minnie and her family. I thinking about that scene of her donning the white dress, but then also making a scene of herself and waving to people. It feels like all I can see is Mia Goth as Pearl.
Oh my God. Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, if they were ever going to make a movie about this person, who they would call.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. And it's unfortunate, the whole situation. And I just her little brother, your little brother's watching you, and then he had to go tell people to help. That's messed up. In every story, she has waved to somebody before jumping in. Sometimes it's a whole town. Sometimes it's just people at the pier. Why would her younger brother have to do anything? Why is he the one being so anyone want to get my sister out of the lake?
Well, with how dramatic she was, is this a girl who cried wolf situation where...
Well, she went in, so I think they know.
I guess that's fair, but it just seems oh, there goes Minnie again, doing something crazy.
Oh my.
What?
Also,
it's just, it's a very dramatic choice to make, and obviously there are so many other options. I get it. She's a young girl growing up in the 1800s. Things are tough, and she lost the person that she loved, but it never has to be this way. Life can go on.
Yeah. I
the
understand.
blandest pop punk would have saved her life.
Yeah. You know what? I stand by that.
I'm thinking of 20 different pop punk songs right now in my head, and
This town, it's so washed up. All my friends jump off a pier.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No.
Insensitive. Also, I would like to point out that this is the pier that brings in all the cargo and the lumber. So this is a pretty big pier. It has to go out decently far. It is no longer actually there's remnants of it, but when it was a place for them to do business and all that kind of stuff, it would have been a decent size. So when she walked all the way to the edge, it's a ways out there. It's not like she could just be oh, I guess I'll just swim back. It's not a good time. And then after about a week of her death, there was also another article, and then this one said, stories have been in circulation about a young girl named Minnie Quay, daughter of James Quay, a carpenter by trade. Again, different story. Like, he was whatever. These stories have been bandied about the community with the usual recklessness of gossip and scandal, and coming to the ears of her parents caused them to talk to the young girl in a manner that must have cut to the heart. She wrote a note to her mother, charging her with being too severe with her and asserting her innocence, and about 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon went down to the lake and threw herself from the north side of the dock. She was seen by her younger brother from the house. He gave the alarm, and parties proceeded at once to search for the body, which was found in about 1 hour, about 10 rods from where she was seen jumping in. She was 15 years of age. At the request of her parents, a medical examination was held, which failed to reveal any evidence of the truth of the stories concerning her. The sad event has cast gloom over Forster, but doubtless gossips and scandal mongers will look for some new victim. Whoever wrote that was like, bitches ain't shit. Like, they're going to do this again. But,
Okay, so, like, what is that implying, though, right? So, if we're talking about, like, there were already, like, stories about her and, like, why were people, like, spreading her around town that she was pregnant or...
Well, that's a lot of stuff, too, because this is the 1800s, and in the one source, they pointed out that they couldn't own a tavern because they were a Christian family, and I don't know age-wise if she was basically a old maid at 15 in the 1800s, but she was probably, she wasn't married, and she was seeing this sailor, and small towns love to, point and be prude.
Right.
So I don't know if they were just, like the reputation of her family was being tarnished because she was dating a guy or sleeping with him or even just, looking at him from afar.
Yeah, that's fucked. Well, I mean, if she was the one going about town, like, I'm going to get married to a sailor, like...
She was very vocal about how she was going to be with this man. People took that and ran with it, as they do. But yeah, so that is what I found on Minnie Quay as her, like, history. Past that is more of just about her, and being a ghost. So a lot of people say you can see her on the lake shore of Lake Huron. She's usually like walking down the beach or she's looking at the water. It's usually you can see her best when it's foggy out or when it's like nighttime. You can hear her mournful cries. Apparently you can also see her in the graveyard where her body is. Well, where her grave is. That was a weird way of saying it, but where she's buried. And then they say that if you like lock eyes with her, if she's like by the water and you're a young girl, she'll try and like beckon you to come into the icy water. There was one, I wouldn't call it a source. It was just one of the things I had read where they said that a young girl had said that she saw Minnie and then ended up drowning that night, but they didn't give a name or any actual facts on it. So, it's kind of hard to say if that happened or not. Yeah, there was like a whole side story of it where people thought they had a limestone for their grave and it was the Combo like family like headstone, and it was made out of limestone, so it like cracked because it's it's porous or whatever, and people say like then her spirit was released, but I don't know. There's a lot of here and there.
Spirits are stored in the stone.
The spirit is stored in the headstone.
Oh my god. But yeah, so they have like a lot of like random stuff. There were stories mostly in the late 80s when she started really popping up. And there was a whole thing where like the dude owned a tavern, and it sounded like he was kind of the reason the stories were coming about to get, people to come to town. There was a self-proclaimed witch that he was in contact with, and she came and was doing like seances and stuff with like people like would get in like a bus from like Detroit and go all the way there, and then she would do like a seance and all this other kind of stuff. And then the church got really mad at them, and they were like, no, we're gonna go in and we're gonna exorcise Minnie because you can't do that. Now I think both sides are wrong. If you don't if you want to do a seance and you want to see what's there, cool, whatever. If you want to talk to someone that you personally knew and you're trying to reach them, like, okay, whatever. But like, why are you doing a seance and bringing up a spirit that's like obviously trying to chill?
Just bring a Ouija board like anyone else.
Yeah, well, there was a whole thing. So in the late 80s, this lady like set up a whole thing, And then they had like this church members would gather and they would pray and sing hymns and they would like disrupt the whole thing. And this girl was like, hey, I'm just going to do these things and just not put it out there when it's really happening because you guys shouldn't do this. And then they were like, well, we're going to exorcise her. And then people were like, oh, okay, that's too far. Like, this isn't your business. And it was a whole weird little time.
So what is an exorcism for like demons?
You can exorcise ghosts.
I agree with Neil. I think they should just use a Ouija board. And
Well,
just
yeah,
move
I mean,
around.
she was doing it-
Hasbro wouldn't steer us wrong.
But she would, like, a seance usually does have like a Ouija board. So
That's fair.
yeah, like I think a seance is just the act of trying to contact the dead, not necessarily like the way they do it. Yeah.
No, for sure. So yeah, all right. So one woman is holding these seances and trying to, make her bag, right? Off of these seances. And the church is mad. And they're like, well, we need to banish the ghost, essentially. And it's like, bro, this is it almost seems like it mirrors what adults put on this young girl in life. Now people are doing with her soul after death.
Well, and that's like the thing where it's like, dude, I mean, again, if you want to go to like Minnie's grave, they do say a lot of people visit and they like usually leave her a little like gift or something on her grave. They say if you don't, she'll follow you. So I don't know if that's like whatever.
Simple CD.
But like, that's fine. You can go pay your respects or you can even just be curious. That's not like a crime. But when you go in there and you start like, doing the seances and doing all the like trying to like get rid of the spirit and stuff like that. And you're not someone in the community, you don't know this ghost. You've never dealt with it. Like you don't know, if ghosts are real or not or whatever. But like if it's not affecting you, maybe you just like leave it be. Because if like her family, because she has descendants, I don't know exactly who they would be now. I didn't look that far into it. But like she had,
Medium Quay, large Quay.
Oh my God.
Tiny baby Quay.
Oh my God. There's so many ways to go about that. I don't. But, like if someone else was like worried for her soul and they knew her or were part of her family, like then they can kind of deal with that. There's no reason for a church to come out and there's really no reason. And I mean, we all do love ghost stories, obviously. And we do love going and doing ghost tours and like hearing history and everything. But like, I don't need to go and disrupt a ghost.
I was going to say most people who enjoy doing stuff like that, like are always very respectful of the spirit.
And that's important because why be rude? Why be rude? First of all, you're gonna get haunted if you do that.
I was going to say,
First
that's
of
like
all-
rule number one.
First of all, you're a tourist. Second of all, I don't care what legends you've heard. You don't identify with Minnie Quay. You didn't know her.
Yeah, like just let her do her thing. It's cool to learn about her. You can still go to Forester. I mean, give the town your money. Who cares? Like they probably enjoy that.
Tourism is fine,
Yeah.
but don't think that you have any sort of rights to exercise the spirit of this poor girl. If she wants to
Exactly.
hang out, she can hang out.
You can go to her grave, but maybe don't try and like summon her. It's just kind of rude. I get it. I get people's interest, but like if I'm a ghost and you're doing that, you're getting the worst of me because I'm pissed.
All right. So like nowadays is there places in Forester that's still trying to like cash in on the capitalism of it all?
I think so, yeah. So it was a little bit bigger, definitely in the 80s is when it started, and I think even in the early 2000s it was still going on. But people still go. There was, I think it was. Do I have it written down?
If nobody's made I'm Quazy for Minnie merch.
Oh my God.
I think we're gonna get haunted if you do that.
I'll leave her one on her gravestone. It's a gift.
Oh,
It's a gift.
I mean, maybe it is kind of funny, but I do know that the Detroit Paranormal Expeditions did visit the dock in Forester, as well as a bed of hers that's in a museum and her gravestone in the cemetery. And they reported that they felt a distinct presence in all those places. They believed that the spirit may remain in Forester, but it didn't really have any like proof. Like there wasn't like, oh, and they got like these readings or these photos or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, here and there.
Yeah.
It's probably a tourist thing, and they were just like, well, what's a tragic death that we can, like, you know, push onto something? But also, she died pretty tragically. I mean, drowning in freezing, almost freezing water is yikes.
Yeah, no, that's like, so, I mean, if it didn't have such a dark ending, right?
Yeah, there's no happy ending.
There's no happy ending here. And like, you know, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, right? We always hear that. But it's just like, if it wasn't so sad, it's like funny how much of just like normal angsty teen she is, right? And this is the 1860s, and like teenagers haven't changed. It's like, my mom's too harsh on me. I'm gonna marry my boyfriend of 2 weeks. You know, like whatever.
But in the 1800s, that's like 3 years.
Yeah, fair.
Gotta go fast.
But I just feel like, I don't know. It just feels like nothing has changed, you know,
yeah,
which is
no,
like so funny to me.
It's very interesting. You'd think.
And if it wasn't so
advances-
dark, it would be a lot funnier. Like, I understand it's dark and it's bad and it's sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my parents don't understand. I'm going to run off with my boyfriend is like such a tropey experience to have.
Oh, it's very much a, but daddy, I love him.
Right.
Moment.
100%.
And it's like, no, you're 15. You don't know that. But also, like, in the 1800s, you getting married at 15, you know, maybe earlier than that. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
It's a little messed up. But yeah, other than that, though, there's really not too much else on her. There is a song called The Ballad of Minnie Quay. I did not listen to it.
Do you want to listen to it?
I don't think we can.
I mean, we can at our own time. I don't think we can listen to it on the podcast, but yeah.
No,
I will say, so the two papers I read, the one was in I read a lot of papers. The two I took most of the information from was from 1876 and then 1877. Or no, it was just like a week later or whatever it was. So they were pretty close, but there were two different little things right next to her story, because it's not like an obituary. It's not like saying like, oh, this happened. Like, it's just in the newspaper because it was a little bit different than the day-to-day life. So these were around both of those. So the first one was Niall R. Barber, in a fit of lunacy while shaving a stranger, nearly severed his jugular, but it won't kill him.
What?
That was like right next to hers. And I laughed really hard because I was like, wait, what do you mean?
So in this paper, they just had like a super tiny throwaway article that was like, yeah, Sweeney Todd's in town. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and that's it. There's nothing else on that. That was the only thing for that on there. All right. I have one other one that I was on the other, article that I thought was very funny. And it says, boys and girls, don't chew gum. A girl in Westfield, having recently had a severe attack of lockjaw, the attending physician gave it as his opinion that the disease resulted from a long and daily practice of chewing gum.
What do you mean I can't for chewing gum?
Yeah, I don't think I think it was less the gum and more, I don't know, lead paint. Like, what do you mean?
It just was really funny to read because I was like, don't chew gum. What do you mean? I mean, who knows what they were putting into it at that point?
Again, they're treating this paper like it's a slow news day. There's a murderous barber and a dead girl in the lake.
But I can't open my mouth very well.
But Violet Beauregard is like, too much.
They said he didn't die. Or that it won't kill him. That is, I don't know why they said I was
going to say,
but it won't kill him.
Say it like that. Is this a threat? That sounds like something I would get in a fortune cookie that is one of the bad ones.
Also, you will shave a man today and sever his jugular, but it won't kill him. Your lucky numbers are 7, 14.
Literally, can we get that as a bumper sticker?
What kind of fit of lunacy is that? Like, oh, I'm actually just gonna go keep. Like, no.
Can you imagine
I have manic episodes, and I've never once tried to slit someone's throat.
Can you imagine, though, living in a time where that was like an acceptable excuse? Like, oh, sorry,
I was
just
feeling
had
a
a fit of lunacy.
Hysteria. Don't start with
As a woman,
Hysteria is for women.
I was gonna say, yeah. As a woman, I have a lot to say on this.
Listen,
on this option.
hysteria and lunacy are different. Somewhere down the road, I will be doing a very long, possible two-parter on the history of werewolves. You cannot stop me. Lunacy. Oh, we'll get into it.
Ooh, all right, yeah.
I can't wait for this. It might be even more than 2 parts. Who knows?
Oh my goodness.
That is just a very thing. Again, I just thought it was very funny that that's a throwaway article. Like, yes, this main part is about this girl, and then all of a sudden, like, crazy Tom shaved a guy and stuff went bad. Didn't kill him.
Didn't kill him. He's fine.
It was fine. He
is,
came in for a night shave, but then I saw the full moon.
Then I saw the full moon and I went,
listen, he was just enjoying his the lead paint chips.
Dude, I'm
Just a
telling you.
little, like, apparently they're sweet.
That's cool.
I got the lead paint favor from the soda fountain.
Oh my god. But yeah, so that's my story, and I did think it was really funny that the barber almost killing a man had a smaller story than hers.
That's what I'm saying.
But it was I don't know. I just saw it and I was like, what?
It's like, I want to talk about this for just like a hot second.
Also, they just say Niall R. Barber, and I don't know if they just meant like his name is Niall R.
I assume.
But I feel like, why wouldn't they just put his full last name since they put everyone else's full last name in it?
Maybe they were trying to protect his ideas here.
His last name Barber.
Win loony. I don't know, man.
Is R his middle initial and Barber is his last name?
And that's also an idea. I was like, what? Is this the start of the Barber?
My name's Niall R. Barber.
Barber. Niall Barber.
Let me cut you.
Oh, not if you're not singing, okay? I like my barbers to be deadly and be able to hold a tune.
I don't like barbers to be deadly at all. I think that's the rule.
I don't go to a barber, so it's not a problem. I go to a hairdresser. Different. Completely different. You have to go to 2 different schools for that. Yeah.
It is true.
I'm just saying, I think the bar should be a little bit higher.
I mean, yes.
The
But I'm just going to say, listen, if the barber is going to kill someone or just, slit their throat or whatever, they could at least sing a good tune about it. And it better be good. And I'm not talking about don't sing from the Sweeney Todd musical. Like, you do your own music. You work.
Sing on Moonlight Bay and get 3 of your friends.
Nothing sounds more insufferable in this day and age than for somebody to kill somebody and then sing about it.
No.
If you
sing while doing it,
Shut
first of
the hell
all.
up.
I want the life to
If you are
leave
someone
while
that,
I hear the
if
tunes.
the spirit so moves you to sing while you are killing someone, I hope the true crime community rips your asshole apart.
What if they sing really, really well?
That's stupid.
I don't know, man. I think, honestly, I would be okay with it because it gives me more time to try and figure out my business when they're distracted monologuing while they're singing.
I'm sorry, you don't go to a barber. This doesn't affect you. We're done talking about this.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I don't go to a barber. I don't get an opinion. But yeah, so that's our episode on Minnie Quay. I don't know if you guys have any more questions or not, but it was a pretty straightforward little story and sad, but yeah, it is what it is.
Well, next time we're up that way how far north of Port Huron?
Halfway to the thumb.
All right. So that's probably like, what, an extra hour and a half?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I mean,
I don't know.
who knows?
Just know
We'll have to go leave for gifts, and I'll have to see if there's any merch
Oh my God.
and if I can sell my idea. Or just start a store out of my trunk by her grave.
Oh my gosh, there is one more thing I forgot about. There were some wild stories that like I couldn't find anyone's like actual like story where they're like, oh, I saw Minnie and she did this and I got, the chills. It was more of like, oh, people see her do this and people hear her do that. But like no one was like, I saw her except for this one. And I don't know if it was just like a weird, like it was from a newspaper, but it was like weird. So I don't know if it was like correct. But this one dude was talking about how like he thought he saw Minnie Quay because he was in the tavern there on Halloween and everyone was dressed up in costumes and this girl wearing a cowgirl outfit, like they were talking about Minnie Quay And it was the first he had ever heard of her or whatever. And then the girl said something and drew his attention, and he looked away and then looked back and she was gone. And they were like, that was Minnie. And it's like, you're telling me this 15-year-old figured out how to get a cowgirl outfit as a ghost?
Yeah, what does she do? Like rob the ghost of a cowgirl? Be like, give me your clothes.
Yeah.
Also, like, can you imagine in her like afterlife, she's just hanging around bars like, hey, you heard of Minnie Quay?
Yeah, and then she's going. I mean,
And
that
then
is
they're
very
like,
15.
oh yeah, maybe. And she's like, look over there.
Look into that one. Heard she was super hot, and then just dip.
Howdy, sailor. You heard of Minnie Quay? No? You're lost.
Oh man, what if he was dressed up like a sailor and she was like, I'm triggered.
Husband?
Husband?
Just wearing like the Groucho Marx glasses, eyebrows in the nose.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah, so that is our episode on Minnie Quay, and I will cut us off now so that we don't keep dragging this on for you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait for you guys to join us on our next episode.
Dan, thank you for all the research that you did. Excellent job. We learn something new every day. And thank you all for listening. And be sure, if you want to continue to listen to all of our nonsense, like, comment, follow, subscribe.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting.
And email us and hit us up on our socials if you are interested in Crazy for Mini merch.
Oh my god. Or
You know what? Or you can leave a comment or send a very lovely email if you want Neil to stop.
I don't know if by this time maybe I will, but maybe I guess I have to make an email now, Neil.
Yeah, I'll make it.
Okay, good.
Good,
But yeah,
because the emails will be for you.
if you've ever had an experience with Minnie Quay, though, I would love to hear about it. So please reach out if you have.
Send a photo of yourself with a newspaper from the date that you go and visit her grave so we know it's real.
I mean, or you just message us. That's so much work. I just like if they've ever seen her.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye.